Yo, welcome back. Today we are looking at the Kiisu v4b. This board was sent to me from Rabbit Labs. And so if you guys are interested in getting one for yourself, go check out their site. This is probably one of the few devices that I can honestly say is very, very similar to the Flipper Zero for all that it offers. Everything from the I button to IR, the USB type of scripts and all that fun stuff, as well as RFID and of course Bluetooth. So diving into it is pretty simple. I have this one loaded up with Momentum firmware. You got your kind of same key function there as you would as a Flipper Zero. So you have your little D-pad, and then up here at the top is your on and off, and then over here will be your back button. So this actually is loaded up with Momentum firmware. They have they can take Flipper Zero firmware as well, but Momentum does have a Kiisu actual firmware on their site. And just scrolling through everything, you can see we have NFC, infrared, we got GPIO, iButton, bad KB, and then U2F as well. And then, of course, your apps, and then sub gigs, and then 125 RFID, and then so on and so forth. I would like to say and start this video out with a little disclaimer here that in this channel, we discuss and review a lot of products, obviously, and I try to give you guys the pricing for said product. All the pricing is going to be US based because that's where I'm at. So I can't really say what the pricing is going to be for overseas. With that being said, though, be aware that when you are buying something in the US right now, you will have to pay a tariff, or that tariff is having to be paid from the vendor. In this case, Rabbit Labs has to pay the tariffs in order to get these devices into the US to resell them. The standard cost for this device is roughly 80 bucks, but because again of tariffs, the price is actually a little bit more. So these go for 150 bucks from Rabbit Labs, shipped to your door. It's about 155, 160 depending on what shipping is available at the time. So that's just going to be a disclaimer going forward for all videos for any kind of product that we review that is coming from overseas into the US. Just expect that you're going to see a fluctuation. We see this a lot too with the H4M Porta Pack from Open Source SCR Labs. Is in their site, they have them listed for like 180-ish, $160-ish. That's accurate for the most part, but once you add them to your cart to then ship, there's an additional $100 added for tariffs to be shipped into the US. That is if you're buying from the China store. Open Source SCR Labs does have a US-based warehouse where they can ship a few of these guys off from, but those tariffs have already been paid. So just be aware of that going into anything that you see in a lot of different channels, whether it's this channel, like Ghost Stretch channel, Talking Sasquatch channel, or Savior Parts channel, or whatever in general. Like a lot of these devices come in and there is a tariff to be paid. So, all right, enough with that. This is a credit card size device. So let's see here. Here we have a standard RFID card. This is going to be your basic card size for your wallet. This little guy is pretty much the exact same size of a credit card. So there's the RFID card there, and then in the front there is the Kiisu v4b. And the thickness is a little bit thicker than, let's just say, maybe 5 or 6 credit cards, or 6, 7. On the back here, we do have GPIOs. So you could then go and solder in your female GPIO headers, and then you could then add in your standard GPIO boards that you use for your Flipper Zero. So for here, we have a Master Blaster from Rabbit Labs as well. This guy just sits in there like that, and it actually works just like this. Of course, your connection is going to be super loose. I would recommend it using like this, but it does work. So if you did want to use your all your add-on boards with the Kiisu v4b, just add on some short little female headers, and then you could use your GPIO attachment boards. So let's see here. We discussed the I button over here on the side. I do like the fact that it auto shuts off after like, I think, 20 or 30 seconds of not being used, but we can of course then go and scroll through all of our stuff. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and read some RFID stuff. I'm gonna just grab this card and we're just gonna go ahead and read. So right here you can see on the back right there is the RFID antenna, and then NFC is, I believe, somewhere on this side. So let's just place that like that, and then we're gonna hit read, And then there we have it. We just got that card's information. These cards go to nothing, so just FYI there. And then let's try this one right here. So let's go retry. Let's go retry. And then we're going to go ahead and go to read. And then let's see it to do a thing. So there we go. This is actually a head H10301 card right there. The number on the card is 12962. So we can see that that works. Now, I will say that the RFID on this guy is a little weak. There is a hack that you can do to kind of amplify that signal. I was going to do it, but then I heard that it actually ends up breaking something over time and ruining the device, and that RFID becomes somewhat unusable. So I opted not to do that. There are boards sold from, I believe it's Midwest Gadgets, for the Kiisu v4b as well as the Flipper Zero. They sell a lot of kind of RFID NFC style upgrades and such. So if you are interested in getting a more powerful RFID reader, if you have one of these, go check out Midwest Gadgets for that. Also, one thing I noticed with the Kiisu is that the RFID is a little bit weaker. I showed you that we had an issue, or that we read these two cards. I've noticed that also with implants, it doesn't really read through the skin too well, where the Flipper Zero can definitely read through the skin a lot easier, or more easily. You just heard that there. So I know that with the Kiisu, for instance, whenever you go read implants, I'm gonna put that right over there. And I have noticed that, like I said, it takes a long time, and you have to kind of get that really positioned properly in order for it to read. I'm gonna have to, if you do have an implant, you're gonna have to puff your kind of hand up in order to get it, that chip in there to kind of protrude more and get closer to the skin surface. But I've had a really hard time reading implants with the Kiisu. That's something just to be aware about if you do have an implant and that you do plan to get a Kiisu v4b. Flipper Zero obviously has a stronger RFID field there to it. The IR I've gotten maybe 15, 20 feet-ish, where the Flipper Zero standard IR gets you 20 to 30 feet, maybe more depending on your environment. So if you're looking at IR2, just be aware of that. BLE works just great. iButton, I haven't tried an iButton yet. I don't really ever use iButton. It's one of those things that kind of just like people have forgotten about, really, in my opinion. For the most part, everybody has gone to like a RFID style thing or a barcode. But if you are interested in doing any kind of like IR stuff and you want something a little more powerful than a Kiisu and you don't need the RFID stuff, you can always look at the Shark Nano. But that's really it for those devices. So I also did get this awesome Tron case that Rabbit Labs sent with it. So let's get this guy installed. These guys kind of are a little finicky to get together. So try to flip this up. The hardest part is that little power button right there. So I think we can just pry this case open a tad bit. Something like that. Make sure it turns on. Okay, we're good. All right. And then let's just go ahead and drop in our 5 screws. Or is it 6?
I miscalculated.
All right, so there we have it. There is our awesome Tron case there. I love the coloration here with the kind of carbon fiber look and then the red on black. It's really Tron Ares like. Great movie, by the way, if you are a Tron fan. I really did enjoy that. But yeah, that's the back there. Still have the access to the GPIO ports, and then the side is already cut out. If you did want to add on an SMA antenna there, you can just, or I guess this side really, you could solder one on to a little 90-degree angle SMA antenna, so you can just get some extra gains out of that if you wanted to do so. I probably will just leave this as this kind of configuration because I like the slim profile of it. I feel like adding headers onto it for any kind of GPIO boards is going to bulk it up a little bit. And then, of course, an antenna. An antenna would be kind of nice, but all in all, I think this is a great little entry-level device if you are looking at something compared to the Flipper Zero, and maybe you don't want to spend the $200-ish on a Flipper Zero. I know that from overseas, they are only sold through Rainwalker is the main distributor of the Kiisu v4b. Out of the U.S. In the U.S., Rabbit Labs, as of right now, is the only distributor for the Kiisu v4b. So like I said, they are $145-ish, $155-ish with shipping. I cannot speak to out of U.S. areas because I do not know, but that is pretty much that. So definitely go check out Rabbit Labs if you are interested in the Kiisu v4b. Like I said, if you want to kind of get into the Flipper Zero kind of realm of things, this is the closest thing that I've seen that kind of do it all, almost as good as the Flipper Zero for a little bit cheaper. If you can find one for maybe 80 or 90 bucks on a resale value, I would definitely jump on that. I appreciate your time as always. Go check out Rabbit Labs for any of your Flipper Zero needs. H4M, they also carry that. And then, of course, a lot of RFID stuff and a lot of really cool GPIO boards like the Master Blaster. They have some new stuff out, like the Poltergeist board. But yeah, thank you, Rabbit Labs. I appreciate you guys sending this out to me. I hope that you guys have a great new year. And stay tuned for more videos to come in the very, very near future. So, like, subscribe to my stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.